I heard you say that you needed to carry it for protection. Well, why would you need it for protection?
Because when I was living with my mother, she didn't live in the best neighborhood, and it was just the environment that I was in. It was dangerous.
Do you think maybe it had more to do with the fact that you were selling drugs?
Yeah, that might have been why she was packing as an already convicted felon, but we see this all the time. Female convicts, they get up in front of the parole board and they want to play it dumb. They want to play it innocent. I was only packing because I lived in a rough neighborhood. You see, she was actually busted after slamming her vehicle into a state trooper. They seize a ghost gun and narcotics after that, and she was locked up for possession with intent to distribute. But here she is at a parole hearing saying, "No, I'm the victim. I just needed it for protection." Anyways, let's jump into this parole hearing, and I'll share more details at the end.
Good morning, I'm Alaze A DOC, 411726.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of parole application for Alaze A DOC, inmate number 411726. She is serving a sentence of 8 years, suspended after 3 years probation for possession with intent and 2 counts of criminal possession. 2 counts of criminal possession of a firearm. As of today, records reflected parole eligibility, August 13th, 2024. There is no victim input in the case. There is an offender accountability plan for these guys that have been reviewed and shows that she had good intention that shows healing trauma beyond violence and discipline. Realizing the woman's risk needs assessment, one of the offenders overall score for recidivity falls within the low range. So that's your opportunity to tell the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I would like to thank the board for the I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Go ahead, you're all set. You can begin your statement.
Okay, thank you. I would like to thank the board for the opportunity on this parole hearing. Between February 2021 and February 2023, I committed 3 crimes that led to my incarceration. I realized the crimes I committed put both myself and members of the community in danger. In the year and a half that has passed since my incarceration began, I have worked hard to make sure when given the opportunity, I can re-enter the community a better citizen than I left it. Before I committed my crime, I felt like people were out to get me because of the neighborhood I grew up in and the people I hung around. I feel like the only way I felt safe is by carrying a weapon. However, I sadly chose the wrong way. I grew up with 3 younger siblings and a single mother. I was trying to help in the best way I could or knew how to. Since my incarceration, I've been doing as many offender accountability program groups as possible. I have been working on becoming the best version of myself, therefore I won't fall back into old habits. By attending mental health groups, self-reflecting, taking time to find myself, setting goals and backup goals, I am successfully preparing to leave prison a different woman than I came in as. In addition to these plans, I have developed better listening skills, better communication skills, as well as matured for when I do go home. I take full responsibility for my actions, and I understand that nothing about my crime is okay. If granted the chance to parole home, I will continue to take my CDL classes outside of here while also seeking employment. I would pursue going to college for sociology and psychology to become a counselor to help people that grew up in a rough and unpredictable environment like myself. I am going to continue with counseling of my own upon my release so my mental health can remain at ease. Moving forward, I will continue to be a better daughter, sibling, and person in the healthiest way possible. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you for your statement. We have some questions for you, then we'll deliberate and give you our decision. Okay, we'll begin with my colleague, Ms. Palmieri.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So good morning. That was a nicely done opening statement. We covered a lot. Many of the things that we're interested to hear, right? We want to hear, as the chair said in an earlier hearing, how you've changed, rehabilitated yourself. What are your goals going forward? So we never see you again.
Right.
As I was reviewing your file, I have a couple of notes to myself. One is that your crimes today are a continuation of your juvenile and your youthful offender record. Right? Stolen cars, the only thing you've added to that is now you have a firearm. So you've upped the ante. Do you see how you've done that? You
Yes,
tie the court's hands, you tie the panel's hands when you carry a firearm. I heard you say that you needed to carry it for protection. Well, why would you need it for protection?
because when I was living with my mother, she didn't live in the best neighborhood, and it was just the environment that I was in. It was dangerous.
Do you think maybe it had more to do with the fact that you were selling drugs?
I feel like it was more because of the people I surrounded myself around.
All right, and those are the people that you're either getting your drugs from, that you're now selling?
No,
No? Explain that to me then.
the people that I was hanging around were like my co-defendants, and they didn't sell drugs. They grew up in a negative neighborhood like myself. We didn't grow up in the same neighborhood, but we all grew up in not so healthy neighborhoods. It's constant shootings, it's people getting jumped, it's people being assaulted. So I felt like that was the only way that I could protect myself, which I realized I was wrong.
And why do you think that's wrong? What have you come to realize?
Because it wasn't right for me to carry a gun. I should have took the initiative and moved with my grandparents. And that's why I'm trying to turn to a new page, and I would like to parole to my grandmother's house because my grandmother was a better influence than my mother. And I'm not trying to fault my mother for my decisions because I made my own decisions. So I'm trying to start over the proper way.
Okay, well, I think a fresh start is always a helpful situation for somebody when they release from prison. But I'm going to back you up a little bit because my information has you with drugs in a stolen car with a gun. So I think that goes beyond being living in a rough neighborhood, because lots of people live in those neighborhoods that don't carry firearms. And we could lecture you all day long about what happens if you have to use that firearm. Right? What if you're threatened and you use it? Then we're probably not seeing you for another 20 years, 25 years. You're 24 years old, got your whole life ahead of you. And, these offenses are a continuation from when you were 15 to 17 years old. So you took these programs, you talked about how you've done all this work to better yourself. So tell me, of the programs that you've taken, which one do you think has had the most impact?
I've been in the Worth program for the past 9 months. It stands for Women Overcoming Recidivism Through Hard Work. It's one of the only female programs in the whole United States. It's similar to the True program. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I do a lot of mental health assessments, and I work on having conversations that are very uncomfortable to have, and it just prepares me to not go back to old habits and how I can progress and move forward upon my release.
And you know what the key word in there is? Hard work, right? Because it's going to be some hard work. There's going to be some disappointments and there'll be some wins. So the Worth program, are you still in that right now?
Yes, I am.
Is there an end date to that?
No, I would stay in here until I leave prison. That would be my end date.
Okay. And you have done a number of vocational programs, and right now you're studying for your CDL?
Yes, and I brought some certificates. I don't know if you would like to see them, but it's as far as my mental health groups that I have completed in the program. I did a little bit of school. I stayed productive my whole entire time incarcerated. I got a job in commissary my first week on the compound because when I first came in, I had to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks, and I dropped a slip as soon as I got to the compound. I believe I got released to the compound on a Saturday or Sunday, I was hired in commissary warehouse that following Friday. And I was working for the whole 9 months, no tickets or anything. And I got moved to the program. The program was a better opportunity, so I quit my job. Well, I quit my job the right way. I put my 2 weeks notice in, and then I applied for school. So I went to school for hospitality, and then they opened the CDL class program, and now I'm in both, but I just completed hospitality, so I went back to work. So now I'm working in commissary again, and I'm doing the CDL.
Making some good decisions.
Yeah.
Making some very good, mature decisions.
Thank you.
2 weeks notice, just like if you were working out in the community. Now your employer's going to expect you to give a 2 weeks notice. And you know, you were working when you got arrested on these charges, right?
Yes.
All right. And you mentioned earlier you want to go live with your grandmother.
Yes.
All right. And you think that's a supportive environment for you to be in?
Yes, I say that to say because my mother, growing up, my mother was in and out of prison herself. So she had a lot of drug charges and stuff like that. I stayed with my grandmother up until the age of 12. I went to a private school. I had good grades. So I'm not trying to leech off of my grandmother, but I feel like my grandmother always put me in the best situation possible, and she always guided me in the right direction. So I'm not trying to put my fears and stuff on my grandmother, but I feel like my grandmother is the correct way to go if I really do not want to come back to prison.
We don't want you to come back to prison. That's what we like to hear. All right. Thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you. Yeah, you've done well. Yeah, you had excellent evaluations for all of your programming. You've been working, no disciplinary reports, which we know is sometimes hard to accomplish. How do you get your license back?
My license was never suspended to my knowledge.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's surprising. You drive away with an officer holding on. Okay, and you had an unconditional discharge for an assault 3. Tell us about that.
And what do you mean an unconditional
You were
discharge?
convicted of assault 3 along with these other convictions.
That situation was, the lady, she had threatened me and she said that she was going to hit me, and I reacted.
Who was
And I
she?
know
You.
I don't know her. I never met her before. I was with people that I probably shouldn't have been with, and they have gotten into an argument with her, and I was the only female there. So she started coming at me, and I didn't take the threat how I was supposed to and react correctly.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rodriguez?
No, Madam Chair, I think she's,
Yeah, we've
she's
covered
done
it all.
very, very well, and, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. I mean, listen, I think there's a lot to talk about here, right? There's a grant. So August 13th is your date. I have co-defendants. Is there anything else?
I just said co-defendant.
All right. In the matter of Alaze A DOC, I'll make a motion to grant parole on or after August 13th, 2024, and you're to have no contact with your co-defendants. Oh boy, is it Kiashia Rodriguez and Alicia Slaughter? Is there
Yes.
a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. All right, keep doing the good work, okay?
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Okay, so they paroled. So what if she downplayed her involvement in crime? So what if she was repeat felon caught with narcotics and a ghost gun? Clearly she's learned her lesson and is ready for parole. As Dr. Grande would say, if there's one thing for certain, it's that we will never see Alaze Fat DOC 411726 again.
Alaze Fat 411726.
Thank you. We also have parole officer present. Can you please identify yourself?
Parole Officer Saunders.
And we have counsel here. Please identify yourself.
Sure. Attorney Alfonso Sirica, Public Defender with the Parole Revocation Unit on behalf of Ms. Elzafat.
This is a preliminary hearing, which the purpose are going to get logged to determine if there's probable cause to believe you commit an act that violated conditions of your parole, determine the act is sufficient serious to warrant revocation of your parole, and determine you should be held in prison pending further proceedings. The state, not you, has responsibility to show there's probable cause to believe you violated one or more conditions of your parole. If I do not find probable cause, I'll reinstate your parole, which means releasing you placed you back on parole supervision. If I find probable cause and determine the act is sufficiently serious to warrant revocation, you may be held in prison pending further proceedings. You should know preliminary hearing is an adversarial proceeding. Anything you say at this hearing can be used against you. This hearing is being recorded. So this is the procedure. I'm going to read you your rights. Then we're going to review the parole violation charge the state appeal is bringing against you. I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. The state will then have opportunity to just issue probable cause in the spirit of the allegations. After the state is finished, you will have the same opportunity. At the conclusion of the hearing, I will inform you my findings, which are based on the available evidence. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure?
No.
Okay. You have important rights today. The right to have an attorney present. You will counsel here. You have a right to see the written notice, charges of violation. Did you receive the written notice?
Yes.
You have a right to view the evidence against you before this hearing. You have a right to submit evidence in support of your case. At this hearing, you have a right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights and are you ready to move forward?
Yes.
So you'll now review the charge of the state your parole officer is bringing against you and the information underlying each charge. Appeal Saunders, you please read the charge.
Yes. Charge 1, obedience to the law. On 12/29/24, Wolcott police responded to your address due to reports of a dispute between you and your girlfriend, Aaliyah James. You admitted to pushing James up against the wall and eventually slapping her in the face, leading to close fist punches being exchanged. James sustained a bruise under her eye. You also trapped James inside the room for multiple hours, utilizing threats of violence in an attempt to prevent her from leaving. You were subsequently arrested for violating Connecticut General Statutes 53A61, assault in the 3rd degree, 53A181, breach of peace 2nd degree, and 53A96, unlawful restraint 2nd degree. This is a violation of condition number 2 of bail laws.
Thank you. And the state is following exhibits pre-marked for identification purposes. Exhibit A, signed statement of understanding, agreement, conditions of parole, B, written in the custody order, C, violation, notice of parole violation, D, parole violation report, E, Wolcott Police Department incident report ending in 796, and F is pending case detail docket ending in 2445-S. I will note I received an addendum. The addendum reported on January 3rd, 2025. Charge was dismissed after family violence program was completed. So did you receive notice of parole violation report, and those other documents I marked? Did you review those?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any additional evidence?
We do not.
Okay, we have no witnesses. At this time, the state is going to have an opportunity to make a short statement or testify with respect to probable cause and the severity of the allegations. I'm going to swear in Ms. Esbat as well as P.O. Saunders so that they can both speak if you would like to today. So can you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear, simultaneously affirm, as the case may be, the evidence you shall give concerning this case should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God upon penalty of perjury.
Yes.
All right. So P.O. Saunders, would you like to say anything at this time? This is the only time you have to speak. So if you'd like to.
No, everything I believe is written down.
Okay.
I just wanted,
so-
actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. I
Go
just
ahead.
thought it was important that the board review the actions of her behaviors for the violating of the conditions. Otherwise, I'm open to continue working with ALZAFAT in the community.
Thank you. So now it's defense opportunity. If you'd like to speak at this time.
Yes, thank you. I've provided information to the hearing examiner and to the parole officer regarding what transpired in court. As correctly indicated, my client did complete his family violence dismissal after family violence program. I'm asking that a probable cause no finding be made. All charges were dismissed. This is not a situation where my client went to court and the charges were null. These charges were dismissed. If you were to make a finding, I'm not sure how that's going to occur, but if you were to make a finding in probable cause, certainly also arguing the second part that it acts so serious that my client needs to be held pending a further revocation hearing. As a January 3rd of 2025. There are no pending charges, criminal charges, no pending technical violations. So I don't think it's so serious that my client needs to be held pending a further revocation hearing. I'm not sure what the revocation hearing would be for, since the charges were dismissed, not nolly, they were dismissed on January 3rd of 2025. So I am asking that my client be reinstated as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. So before I announce my findings, I'm going to put on the record, the defendant was out there for about 4.5 months before being returned to custody on discretionary parole supervision. And it is recommendation the officer to release after disposition of charges. So regarding the charge 1, I make a finding of probable cause based on the evidence that was presented in support of the violation AEF. I do find that the behavior does meet the elements. However, I find the accident not serious enough to warrant revocation. As such, your parole will be reinstated. The records office facility, as well as your parole officer, will be notified. So you're going to be reinstated as of today. So I'm gonna, it is an honor after, you are discretionary parole. So that is on or after date as well, but I will, I'm going to, as of today, reinstate your parole.
If
You have
I
any-
may, P.O.
Go ahead.
Meisinger, not to interrupt you, I understand this discretionary parole, but anticipation of this finding, I did provide P.O. Saunders with my client's proposed sponsor, which is her mother, with an address and a phone number in the Waterbury area. If I can just make that part of the record.
Okay.
So Ms.
Go ahead.
Alice Bat, she is reinstating your parole today. The issue with you is you're on discretionary parole, so it's on or after date. It might not be today because of your status on discretionary parole, but your parole is reinstated as of today.
So what does that mean though?
You'll
For
be
like,
out sooner. You'll be out sooner than later. It might not be today. It just need to work out where you're heading. But parole is reinstated as of today.
okay, so I'm just waiting to get picked up?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you're all set for today.
Thank you, P.O. Meisinger. Thank you, P.O. Saunders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, and they released her. And as I'm sure we are all aligned, I'm sure she's going to do great out there. So it will come to no surprise that just a month ago, she was stopped and arrested for having this thing on her. Oh, not a good look, but I guess she needs it for protection. Kind of looks like one of those Uzi guns that go, shoot and stuff. So let's see. She was found with two co-defendants. Um, Police said they were patrolling North Main Street and Cook Street at around 7:10 p.m. when they stopped a vehicle because of a traffic violation. The traffic stop led police to find the H, the M, these, and Pepsi Cola. Wow, this is not a dealing operation. $658 in cash as well. A whole list. It's a pharmacy. It's a mobile pharmacy. Clearly, this is part of her parole plan. Clearly, she just has a job delivering people their pharmaceutical needs. Sanders was charged with illegal transfer of a pistol, possession of narcotics, criminal possession of a pistol or revolver, criminal possession of a firearm, ammunition, 2 counts, possession of narcotics with intent to sell, and possession of hallucinogenics. Wow. What a surprise, guys. Who would have thought that this could be possible? I never thought that she was just lying to the parole board, that she was actually just, you know, this is, we're not surprised. We're not surprised. I think she was a moderate risk to reoffend or low risk. Who knows what it was? I mean, look, we don't have our PhDs. We don't really understand. But it was so clear, I think, to anybody who would have had the information on this case that she was not ready. And it's quite interesting, how it goes on. As she said, she was basically adopted by her grandmother. sent to private school. And you could see that she had a great education, well spoken, articulate, but she's using it the wrong way. And from the first crime, when you pull it up here, I love the ads that they have in these articles. It's like really, 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 really like everybody loves to have ads pop up in their face when they're reading articles. That's why these online papers are doing so well. But remember, this was in February 8th, 2023, when she was caught up in that initial crime, where she, if you think about it, it's so insane how light on crime they are. She had her parole hearing June 21st, 2024. That is like, I don't know, I'm not great at math, but just not, it doesn't seem like a lot of time. Is it less than a year and a half? Um, she gets paroled, and 4 months later, she's revoked and re-released, only to just a few months later get caught up again. And I know for those of you wondering, well, why are we not doing her revocation hearing? Um, it's August 11th, that at the time that I'm doing this hearing, and that I saw that she was caught up in this in July. And that's really not a lot of time. That's just a few weeks. So we may come up here as a surprise with the revocation hearing. I may do it as a separate hearing, but sometimes what we see is that they wait for things to go through the courts. So we might have to wait a whole year. And I just thought I would pull this up now, and we can always bring this back a second time, right? But this, again, this was her first one, where two Waterbury women were arrested Monday. Police seized an illegal firearm, narcotics, and two suspects who crashed stolen car into the police cruiser. Right. So these are women, already convicted felon, caught with a ghost gun and narcotics, and smashes into a police car when trying to escape. And she literally has a parole hearing within a month and a half of the date of this happening. Make that make sense. Police attempted to take both women into custody and entered stolen Hyundai Elantra, but Slaughter accelerated the car, crashing it head onto a police cruiser. The car became disabled, and they fled on foot, short distance until they were taken into custody. Waterbury police said they located 25 glass-lined bags containing a mix of Fetty and aged 14.9 grams of Pepsi and a loaded ghost gun with 10-round magazine. Authorities said both suspects were already known to the police, and that the vehicle was stolen. She, our queen over here, is a convicted felon who is prohibited from possessing any weapons and ammunition. She could have gotten 5 years just for that. Just for that. Here's where she slammed into the car. Well, her co-defendant slammed into the car. That's their ghost gun, their Glock. Look at that. They even got like a little flashlight. They're all fancy. Wow. Look at them. The two police officers were transported to St. Mary's Hospital, where they were treated and later released. She was charged with the following offenses: criminal possession of firearm, illegal sale. How do you get such a light sentence where we just watched her parole hearing on one on what was it again? On 6/21/24, then she gets revocation hearing 1/15/2025. She gets released after her pretty much immediately. Her probation officer, hey, oh yeah, I'm good. We can do, whatever, just some DV. And then she gets busted again. She's dangerous. And she's a dealer. Again, remember what she was just caught with. This stuff is killing people. It's poison. She is destroying her community. This is insane. They need to throw the book at her. This is why I'm not sure they're going to have a revocation hearing. I think that this time she's done. But let's play it through. If she does have a revocation hearing, I will play this again. And talking on that note, when I replay hearings, I have a problem that I want to talk it out with you. The channel goes through seasonal things where it's like we're ghosted, we're shadow banned, we're whatever. So I have a lot of hearings that I think are, wild in every which way, but they don't get views. So like I have a revocation playlist. So I'm looking at hearings now where here's a woman who goes through the whole process like this. It has 5,000 views. Well, this channel has almost 100,000 subscribers. That means that 5%, and not all the views are from subscribers. So like at best 5% of you have seen it. 95% of you have not seen it. And out of that 5,000 views, about half click off after the first 30 seconds. So probably only 2.5% of you have seen it. And I have a lot of these hearings like that. And I want to replay them for you in a way because I know that most of you haven't seen it. But I see in the comment section some of you who are very loyal to the channel who have seen it say, Mandoo, why are you replaying this? So I don't know what the answer is, but I feel like I have to. It's because the algorithm is hiding it, and it's really frustrating to me. That I know 96, 98, whatever the number is. So, anyways, right now we're going to watch a sequence similar to this. It has fewer than 5,000 views, which I think means fewer than really 95% of you have seen it. If you have already seen it, you can hop off. What I'll try to do, I think, is to just replay these repeat hearings at the end of a new hearing. This way, you're not going to have to see it again. But it's funny. I think it's a funny one. Another person who's just in total denial. So we'll jump in and watch it. And with that, let's go.
Putting me until I got to the jail.
But
and they
where?
searched me
But
in
where?
my bra. In my bra.
Wait
right
a
here.
minute. Are you really you're gonna sit here and tell us that someone put Suboxone, fentanyl, and crack cocaine in your purse and bra and you didn't know it?
Yeah. Why would I lie? Anything I've ever done in my life, I've always taken responsibility for.
Okay, okay. I guess why would you lie? Like this is this a first? This might, I don't know, when you think you've seen it all. Guys, don't drink the water in Connecticut. That's kind of like what we've learned from these Connecticut parole hearings, because they all have, not they all, but so many of them, they just have something in common. It's just there's something going on. But yeah, she was arrested on 6/10 of 2020, possession with intent to sell, but according to her, all just a big misunderstanding, and facing a 27-month sentence, but a maximum release date of 2026. Let's see how the parole board handles this pillar of honesty. Yeah, let's jump in.
Kaisha Garcia, 302-487.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Kaisha Garcia, inmate number 302-487. She is serving a sentence of 7 years, suspended after 27 months, with 3 years probation for possession with intent and failure to appear first. As of today, records reflect parole eligibility date of November 28th, 2024. There is no victim in the case. There is an offender accountability plan. It is reviewed and shows she has completed no programs on the OAP at this time. Utilizing Williams risk needs assessment, they've been overall scoring recidivity in moderate range. Ms. Garcia, this is your chance to tell the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Well, before I got in here, I didn't realize, how depressed and everything that was going on. I was struggling with coming in here and the whole situation with the case and everything. And when I got in here, I kind of realized that, everything that I was going through wasn't what I wanted, and it wasn't what was supposed to be happening in my life. I had got into car accidents and all this stuff was going on, abusive relationships. So things were not what I was used to doing. And now that I'm here and I've gone through the situation and got time to think about everything that's going on and where I want to be, I'm now able to say that I can accept the help that I need, to help that I never asked for, and move forward with my life and do the things that I need to do as far as being with my children and my granddaughter and helping my daughter open up her business and get my life together with what I want to do. If I want to go back to school or get a job, which I'm always good at doing, and be a member of society like I should be. And that's where I'm at today, so.
Okay. Thank you for your statement, Ms. Garcia. We do have questions for you.
Yeah.
We're done. We'll deliberate amongst ourselves and give you our decision.
Okay.
Well, listen, I don't want to retry this case. We're not judges or a jury, but I understand that you deny you were selling drugs. You say you gave a friend a ride and there were drugs in the car. You didn't know they had drugs.
Yes, I didn't do what I came in here for. I wasn't the one doing what I was charged for.
Okay, but you did have drugs.
Yeah. But it wasn't, what happened was the guy that I was dating, I was in my room sleeping and he had asked me to bring a car so that he could take the car and he would drop me back off. And when I kept denying that I didn't want to go because I was tired and I wanted to sleep, he kept asking me to bring the car, bring the car, bring the car. So I finally got up and brought him the car. I didn't know the drugs were in the car. So then he went and did what he was doing, and I was sitting in the car. One of the people that was standing in front of the store, I know her through my foster sister. So she was crying. So I had asked her what was going on with her. So I told her, come in the car and we'll take a drive around and I'll talk to her. So when I dropped her back off, he asked me to hold some money for him. So I thought that he was putting money. I don't know what he put in me until I got to the jail.
But
and they
where?
searched me.
But where?
In my bra. In my bra.
Wait
right
a
here.
minute. Are you really you're gonna sit here and tell us that someone put Suboxone, fentanyl, and crack cocaine in your purse and bra and you didn't know it?
Yeah. Why would I lie? Anything I've ever done in my life, I've always taken responsibility for.
You are trash.
Well, if someone said to me, I need to stash something in your purse, in your bra, I think I would question what it was.
If I'm in a relationship with the guy, I didn't think anything of it, honestly.
Maybe you should know who you're in a relationship with then. Maybe that's the bigger issue.
I agree.
I mean, your story, I don't believe it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't believe your story. That's crazy to me. 45 baggies of fentanyl, 45 baggies of fentanyl, 8 strips of Suboxone, and 9 baggies of crack cocaine, and you had no idea.
I told you I was sleeping. I was tired. I wasn't paying attention. Should I have been? Yes, ma'am. I should have been. But I wasn't. And that's my fault. That's my responsibility to that.
The police report says they saw you selling drugs.
No, they didn't see me. That's what he said. I wouldn't lie. I don't have a reason to lie. Any trouble I've ever gotten into, I've taken responsibility for.
You are trash.
I've always been accountable for what I do. You asked me, and I'm telling you what happened. Should I have known? Should I have paid attention? Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just such a crazy story. I don't believe it. Okay, so why don't you tell us, you were using drugs. What were you using?
Fentanyl.
Okay, but you claim you didn't know you were using fentanyl, right?
No, I smoke marijuana. That's what I've done.
Did you have a medical marijuana card?
No.
Okay, so you're buying your marijuana illegally and it's laced with fentanyl.
Yes.
Are you catching my drift here? Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Totally. I'm not saying what I'm saying doesn't make sense or doesn't sound like what you think it should sound like. I'm telling you what happened and what was going on. I don't have any reason to make it seem any less or any more than what it is. It was what it was. I had been paying attention and done it differently. Yes, you're right. You're completely right about that.
Yeah, I mean, you're buying fentanyl on the street, basically, is what you're doing, right?
Basically, yes.
Yeah. What is, so now we've created a bigger issue for you, right? Because now you became addicted to fentanyl. What's your relapse prevention plan?
Well, before I came in and I realized that something was going on more than just the marijuana, I put myself in a cleanup, a program that you get clean and then they send you to another program.
A detox?
So you can do, yeah. So you can do, and then after that you go into a program to do a program. And I wound up catching a double seizure. So I had to reapply. And by that time, the bondsman came and got me and I ended up coming in here.
Okay. So I understand that you have very little support. Are you still with that boyfriend?
No,
Probably a good idea.
not with him,
Um,
no connection, no contact, nothing.
And your co-defendant Jasmine, who was she to you? Was she a friend of yours?
Jasmine, I don't have a co-defendant.
Well, the person that they thought you were selling drugs to, she was there.
That's my foster sister's friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need to
She's
have contact
passed
with her?
away.
Oh,
No, she
okay.
passed away. She passed away even before the case started.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't verify that. I don't have any verification of that, but anyway, my point initially was it appears to me that you have very little positive supports in your life, which means you need to build them, right? And how do we go about getting positive supports?
Well, I have a friend that's a positive support system in my life. She doesn't do drugs. She works, stays home. My kids are grown, so they're positive, and I choose to self-help. Like if I can read something, if I can talk to somebody, then that's what I do. If I have to do a program, I'll do that too. But I'm determined to stay on a positive path.
Yeah. What about supports in the recovery community?
I can do that as well. Well, I tried to do the drug program, so I'm trying to reach out to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not so, I don't have a lot of knowledge about that, but.
Yeah, what I mean is someone you can talk to, someone who knows what you're going through. And if you feel like you're going to relapse or you do relapse, someone to call.
Right.
Why haven't you taken any
I
programs
have
yet?
never taken drugs in my whole entire life besides smoking marijuana. It's not a lane that I'm prone to or that I've ran to with any situations I've had in my life. It's something that happened in a relationship. And, as soon as I realized what was going on and what I should have been doing, it was already too late because I had to come in here.
But you did do drugs because you said you were smoking marijuana daily. You were using that for some reason.
Well, yeah, it helps. It was helped me through the day. But yeah, but as far as like other drugs, no, that's not something that I've done.
But you became addicted, obviously, because you were getting the marijuana in the wrong way. So, so it can happen. You're proof that it can happen.
Absolutely. I see the ripple effect it had in my life.
Right. You've had 4 successful community releases, so you know how to be on probation or whatever type of release it was. You know how to do it correctly. You have to use the support. Anything can better us, right? Any help can be beneficial. Where do you stand with your driver's license? Because it was suspended. Why was it suspended?
I think it was because of parking tickets I had. So I had paid them and reinstated it. And then now my license is good. I had to pay it like almost $800. I had a parking ticket.
So after this offense occurred, you paid all that?
Well, after the offense occurred is when I found out, yeah. And I had to pay to get a case opened and pay the ticket and then pay for the license to be reinstated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. $800. Wow. That's
a lot of money. About that. Yeah.
What were you doing for work at that time?
Well, I was a CNA, and then before I came in, I started working housekeeping because I couldn't do the manual labor because of my neck. I have a broken disc in my neck, so I couldn't do the lifting anymore.
And you had $800 cash sitting around to pay off car fine?
No, I had to save it. Okay.
All right. Okay. So do you plan to work?
I did it piece by piece. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. You plan to work now? Are you able to work?
Yes.
Are you working in the facility right now?
Yes. I work in commissary.
You have a commissary job? How long have you been doing that?
I believe since April or May.
Okay. Are you going to meetings there?
No. I signed up for tier 2.
Yeah.
But they haven't put me in yet.
Well, it's on your OAP, right?
I believe it is.
What else? Do you have a OAP? programs? What are they?
Okay, good intentions, bad choices, a job. And addiction services.
Okay, so you've covered one thing
Oh,
on your
see, I didn't
OAP.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the good intentions. I
You
didn't know
signed the
about that.
OAP.
Yeah, but they didn't tell me what it was. They just told me I had to do tier 2 and work and some schooling thing, but
Yeah, and if you did tier
Yes.
2, that would be sufficient for good intentions, bad choices as well.
oh, okay.
So yeah, I certainly hope you're able to get into that program. Okay, and you want to go to a halfway house?
Yes.
Where do you go from there?
Well, I was planning on saving up to get a place.
Okay, on your own.
Yes.
Okay. All righty, thank you for speaking with me. I'm going to turn over to my colleague, Mr. Siselskas.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I don't have a lot of questions. My colleague covered most of what I was going to ask. I do want to give you an opportunity to talk about how you've changed since you've been incarcerated. So you could talk about that a little bit. I'm concerned about the lack of programming. So, have you gone to any meetings? Have you done anything else that we're not aware of that you could talk about?
Well, at home, like I told you, I got into that detox and then to the program. So I can't say I knew I had a problem then because I'm not a person who does hard drugs like that. I mean, I know marijuana to use a drug, but to me, it's not like those other drugs. So I didn't even realize that it was an issue of that sort. So when I did the detox and the programming, and then I got taken by bond and then came in here, that's when I realized, you know what? Maybe I should be doing something else. So I do the programs that will come in the building. They would have like one social worker or counselor will come and do a program in the middle of the building, do those programs. But I would write for other ones and I haven't got responses on them. So I'm not too sure how you would push yourself to get in there, but I do write the request to get into the programs. But I didn't know about, NA and all that until about a month ago.
So
I don't
The
really talk
detox-
to everybody.
the detox and then the subsequent program after that, just so I understand that correctly, did that take place after you were arrested, but before you were incarcerated?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it did.
Can I interrupt? I'm sorry. Where was that program?
The detox
Both.
in New London, the detox one was in New London, and then the program was in Groton.
What was the name of the
I
facility?
think it was CBH.
CBH or SCAD?
I think it was CBH. SCAD was where I did the detox, and then the CBH was the program in Groton.
Okay. CBH and Brad.
I think it's CBH. The
Stonington
program's right here, and
Institute?
then you go across the street.
Was it Stonington Institute?
I'm not sure. It could
Sorry.
be.
Okay,
I
sorry.
know because I
That's
think
okay.
around
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
I'm not
clear.
sure.
Appreciate it.
what it's called.
All right.
So you've been clean since then, since that detox,
Yes.
and since that program. Is that what you're saying to us today?
Well, yeah. Until when the lawyer told me that I was coming in and then I started smoking weed again, I was depressed. I didn't even know how depressed I was, but I was depressed. And I was
But at that-
working and
That marijuana that you're talking about at that point do you think that had fentanyl in it again?
yeah, because the lady told me when I did the urine that it was in the urine. And I said, I don't know how because I haven't done it.
Okay.
And she said that it was.
So that's the only way you know is because when you took the drug test.
Took the urine, yeah.
All right, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Those are all the questions I have.
Thank you. Ms. Palmer?
I have no follow-up questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, give us a few minutes to discuss your case and we'll give you our decision shortly.
Okay.
All right, so here's where I stand. Whether we believe the explanation or not, she got the drugs in her system, right? And we're here. She was convicted. I wish she could have taken the tier 2 program or some program, to be honest, because I'm just not sure it's going to be addressed out in the community. She seems pretty confident that she's just not going to use anymore. But after she did detox and treatment, she did. So it's a concern. Go ahead.
Could I ask one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Ms. Garcia, when you were in federal prison, did you do drug treatment in federal prison?
Yeah,
Which program did you do?
I did the in programming. You do the program inside and then you come out.
So did you do the
It's-
500 hour? Did you do the 500-hour program?
You live inside the program, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
that's like a tier 4.
Yeah, when was that though?
So she was in federal custody in 2008
2008, yeah.
for 6 years.
Yeah,
And then you came out to 5 years federal probation.
yes.
And when you were on federal probation, did they have you go to drug treatment?
No. I
No?
went in the beginning, they had like a release thing and you go maybe, I don't remember, a couple of months, but after you give them clean urines, they did. I worked 2 and 3 jobs.
Okay, so when you were in the
Yeah.
halfway house, did they have you doing drug treatment?
As long as you were in the building, you would do a class for an hour. Yeah,
So we did a tier 4 inpatient for marijuana with the feds.
That's what that program is.
No, right, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like
I
for
do.
marijuana use?
Mhm.
So I feel like we have an ongoing issue here, so,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, we could try to
Well,
get her into the tier 2.
if I could tell you, in the federal prison, as long
Yeah.
as you had a drug case, they would allow you to take the program. You didn't actually
Okay.
have to be using the drugs.
Okay, thank you. We could have her do the tier 2 program and come back, or send her out and hope that she gets treatment in the community. I mean,
If you could see, I've been on probation and I've
so
always
I'm gonna
followed
ask
the
you
rules.
now not to interrupt us anymore, please. You can
Oh,
listen to our
sorry.
deliberation, but please don't interrupt.
My apologies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she does well in the community. I'll give her that, but she comes back.
I don't see any violence in any of this.
No. So this is, what we call high risk, low stakes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's a good chance that the behavior will continue, but is she gonna hurt anybody? Well, I don't know. If you're selling drugs with fentanyl, maybe, but, what are your thoughts, Mr. Staskis?
I really, like you said, I struggle with this, drug treatment. And that's why I was asking those questions. And, I hear that she's taken some other programs in the past, but she seems to just relapse every time after, even after this latest one. So-
Yeah, I think I'd like to have her do the tier 2 program and come back and see us. Ms. Palmieri,
So she scores out of 4 for her substance abuse. I am, I see it a positive thing, like that prior to coming into the facility, prior to her sentencing, she did put herself in a detox.
yeah,
And from her own report, she had a medical condition which seems to have prevented her from participating in the follow-up inpatient piece to that. So I do believe that Ms. Garcia knows how to address her drug problem.
Mhm.
She knows that she has an issue. She knows when she needs to go to treatment
yeah.
to address that drug problem. So I am, I do see that as a positive to her release.
Mhm.
You know-
But she used after doing that program.
She did.
Yeah.
I just, based on all that she's already done.
Right.
Tier 2 is kind of, it's not a lot.
But it could be mindset too. Like she's of the mindset that she's never used drugs. She's gonna go out there and never use them again. So, the relapse prevention plan is weak here. So maybe you gain something about a relapse prevention plan and support in the tier 2 program.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She definitely would benefit from it, aside from what we decide today, but when she gets back in the community, like a C-car.
Right.
That's,
So I don't think she thinks she needs that.
yeah, well,
But that's
that's
the problem.
where the community support comes in.
Yeah.
Through those programs,
Right.
even more.
How long is this tier 2?
3 months,
Yeah, I think it's 12.
It's 12 weeks.
sessions.
right? Once a week. So 3 months, yeah.
And there, I would account for at least another week or so, because there's usually,
Yeah, I would do like 4
they
months.
regularly give it
Yeah.
so
Right.
closer to 4.
I don't know. I would do a 4 month right here. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
That she completes.
We're
tier
not
2.
covered November, December, January, February. Are you okay with that?
I am
February. Okay. inadequate programs. And offender change? What is that?
Yes.
Okay. There's no tickets, so that's good, yeah.
Her record is minimum.
How do you say your last name?
Garcia,
I mean, not your, I'm sorry, I meant to say your first name. How do you say your first name?
Kaisha.
Kaisha, okay. All right, in the matter of Kaisha Garcia, inmate number 302487, I'll move to deny parole at this time, but rehear the case in February of 2025, 4 months from now. Denials for the following reasons: inadequate program participation and inadequate evidence of offender change. We're going to recommend that Ms. Garcia participate in an addiction services program. She is supposed to be starting tier 2, I believe, but we won't specify that. They could put her in whichever one they'd like, and receive no disciplinary reports prior to her next hearing. Anything further? Is there a second motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll see you in 4 months, ma'am. Okay, good luck to you. This will help you get into the program.
This
Yeah.
concludes the hearing for Kaisha Garcia.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we all believe her, she had no idea it was in her bra. She was definitely buying the Fetty by mistake because she thought it was in her marijuana. I mean, we totally believe her, right? We buy that hook, line, and sinker. But anyways, what a bad parole hearing. Let's see if she improves it, because we're back. We're back for her parole hearing. How fast does time fly? Do you think that just a few months of programs can completely change a person? I don't know. Let's see if she at least has a better parole hearing. So with that, let's jump in.
All right, good morning. My name is Parole Officer Boisford. Today is Friday, March 21st, 2025. This is hearing the Connecticut Board of Departments of Parole. Following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record, certified they have reviewed all statutory required documents and available pertinent information for this hearing.
Good morning, Mike Cole.
Good morning, Robert Sazowskis.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasu.
Can you please state your name and your name number for the record?
Good morning, Kaisha Garcia, 302487.
Thank you. This hearing has been conducted in consideration of the parole application for Kaisha Garcia, inmate number 302487. She is serving a sentence of 7 years suspended after 27 months with 3 years probation for sales of hallucinogen narcotics and failure to appear first. That's the day record reflect parole eligibility date of November 3rd, 2024. There is no victim input. There is an offender accountability review that shows that she's tier 2 and has a job. Utilizing the women trust me separately, and the overall score for recidivating falls within the moderate range. Ms. Garcia, this is your opportunity to tell the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Well, during the time that I've been, I have a letter to read, but I'd like to say that during the time that I've been here and been able to sit with myself, I have learned things and been able to process those things. And I feel I have the proper tools that I need to make better decisions. And I'd like to be given the chance to prove that to you guys. I don't see anybody, but
You don't see us?
no. I thought it was gonna pop up, but it hasn't.
What do you currently see on your screen?
It says DOP York CI hearing room 3 and some names on the side.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, can we,
If you guys want to
please?
continue, you want to pause or? do you-
No, we can continue. But we're gonna get the video straightened out so that you can see us, but you can hear us. Okay?
Yes, I can hear.
So,
She said she could read.
oh, did you have an opening statement you wanted to read?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
If that's
sure.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Do I start now?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to be given the chance to apologize to my victims and loved ones for the damage that I inflicted in their lives, as well as the bad choices that led me here. During the time I've been here, I've been able to reflect on my way of thinking and choices I've made. Joining tier 2 has opened my eyes to a different way of viewing and thinking, always making decisions that give me quick gratification, not taking the time to think things through, which lead to chaos and trouble in my life. Now I can honestly say that Counselor Cohen's teachings and helping with how to slow myself down and think about why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling and what I can do to change the negative to a positive. Learning that makes me feel better about moving forward in life and having a better outcome. Going to tier 2 helped me understand that when I need help, I need to reach out and ask for it, which is why I joined the Al-Anon after graduating to tier 2. At Al-Anon also helps me to continue to work on myself and feel good about having a good support system, knowing there's others like me who can help me, as well as my loved ones. A positive and caring support system to reach out to. I plan to use all my resources and support systems to keep myself on a path of healthy and balanced life, making amends, positive and better choices towards the people I've hurt, as well as rebuild good relationships with my community and always continue to work on myself.
You get to see us now?
Yes, I can see you now.
All right, perfect. Well, we could see you the whole time. So, so that's good. And that statement was really good. Very insightful and such. And maybe you remember Mr. Suzakis
Yeah, good morning.
from last time.
Yeah.
So just like last time, we're gonna ask some follow-up questions and then talk about your case and give you a decision, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Board Member Suzakis.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Yeah, so I was in your original hearing. And, you know, I know that that was not the news you wanted to hear probably at the end of that hearing, that you were going to have to stay and complete programming. But I can say just from this short interaction so far, you sound much better already. So it does appear, just from what we've heard so far, that you have gained some insight from that tier program. So, you know, I'm glad you took advantage of that. And, you know, definitely from what your opening statement sounded like, that you've learned some things. So I'm going to go through my questions. You've answered some of them already with your opening statement. I don't even recall an opening statement like that in your last hearing. Yeah, this sounded much better. I have to say.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's go back to the original crime, because at the last hearing we had some difficulty with that part of all of this. I don't want to relitigate the case, but I do want to just kind of clear up some of this, and then we'll just move on.
Yeah.
So the police stopped you after they were watching you. I don't know if you know, but they were watching you, and they saw that you had sold drugs to someone, and they stopped the other person. The other person had the drugs on them, and, you know, they said that they just bought it from you, and then they stopped you right after. They find some drugs on you. I know it wasn't your car, and I get all that. You had a suspended license. They did find some Suboxone in your purse right away, and you said, you know, that was for your personal use. But then when you get to the police station and they search you, they find 45 bags of fentanyl in your clothing, in your pocket. So that's a lot more concerning, because you know how dangerous fentanyl is, and that's a large quantity I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, during the last hearing, you were trying to convince us that you didn't know the drugs were in here, that it was your boyfriend's. And it's just hard. It was hard for us to understand how you didn't know that drugs were within your clothing and that it didn't belong to you. So I just wanted to revisit that and see where you stand on that today. At the time, you told the police it was for your personal use, whatever. I just, you know, I would hopefully, through the programming, that you've learned that, you know, you just learned that you've made some bad decisions here, and this led us to this. So what do you recall from happening that day?
I recall going to meet with somebody, and I saw the girl crying, and she got in the car. We took a drive around, and I dropped her off, and then I drove off after a little bit and was followed by the police and pulled over.
You are trash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then after they pulled me over, they searched the car, which, like, it wasn't mine, and then they took me to the police station and researched me. And that's when they found the drugs.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed, is what I was.
Yeah. So that's a reasonable explanation, right? Not blaming someone else, but taking responsibility for your own actions.
Yeah, I
would be embarrassed too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so the drugs, you knew that they were in your bra, right?
Yeah, I knew they were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure we can get past this, and then let's just move on to some other questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your driver's license situation. It was suspended, right, when they stopped you?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on now?
I didn't know at the time it was suspended, but it's all been, I paid some tickets that I had and then they reinstated and I paid the reinstatement and I have the license now. Well, I've had it for a couple years now.
Because you were out pending the case working its way through the courts? Is that?
No, when I was out, yeah, I fixed it way before I came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I also read that you're working in the commissary. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I went from bagging to 2 different stations. I help out when help is needed. It's a little hard work, but I enjoy it. Keeps me busy and it keeps me motivated. I met some good people there. The staff is good there. You know,
Okay.
they've helped me stay focused on working and doing what's good. So
You think you learned any skills, even customer service or dealing with your coworkers, that kind of thing? that
customer
you could use?
service, teamwork, learning the job and doing the job the proper way. Yeah,
Okay. So those are some things that you could probably take when you go back out to find a job
absolutely.
before before any bad decisions get made, get yourself working. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking about employment, do you have any opportunities for employment in the community?
Well, I'm not sure as to where I'm going, but I have been looking at different resources in the area. So I just figured I would just go online and apply to places and however, I don't know how they do it, but I would preferably go online and apply. And if I can call them or walk over there to the job, I would take what I can for the moment till I can get what I really would like to do.
Yeah, so most businesses now, you can apply online, but that doesn't mean that after a couple days you can't call and then try to follow up and, say, I applied online, but I would get on that right away, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As soon as they let me. I don't know how the process works, how they do things or what time framing they have, but as soon as they allow me to get out there and get the job, I'm gonna do it. If they allow me to do 2, I'll do that. But I also want to do programming as far as like go into the self-help groups. So I want to kind of put that in there as well as with the working.
So I heard you mention Al-Anon. Are you talking about NA, AA, Al-Anon, things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you looked
I'm
at
also
places?
thinking about trying to
Go
do
ahead.
some counseling.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Have you looked at places where they might have programs like that where you might be going?
Well, they say once you find where the program is, like the Al-Anon or the AA or NA, they have resources there that can help you find those places.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are very popular programs that you're describing. So most places, you're gonna be able to find somewhere in a church or some community center somewhere where you're going,
Yeah.
And I read that you wanted to go to a halfway house and then work on reconnecting with your children at some point. Can you just talk a little bit about your release plan and what your plan is?
Well, my plan is, like I said, I'm not sure exactly where I'm going, but wherever it is that I do go, I plan to work and do the programs that I want to do and then gradually rebuild my relationships with my children. And hopefully they'll, want to do the same and start from there. I mean, I don't have any plan of like going back to where I came from. I really would like to find somewhere to settle and start living life there. So.
Okay. When was the last time you talked to your children?
2 days ago.
Okay, so you are communicating with them.
Yes, on the phone. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
How old are they?
They're grown, 30. They're from 30 to 19, 4 of them.
Okay. So that's a good support system to have, right?
Yes, they've been great. I can't ask for anything better. I mean, from what I've done, I'm grateful that they're there and, they allow me to do that.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before I pass on to my colleagues? I don't have a lot of other questions for you. We asked you a lot of questions in the first hearing, so very familiar with your situation and your case and what happened. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Just that I appreciate the opportunity and focus on doing better, making better choices for myself and my children.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for talking to me. You sound much better. You've done
Thank
well
you.
since the last hearing.
I
So,
appreciate that.
You're welcome. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Garcia, just one thing. Have you ever heard of CCAR?
No.
So if you go back on your tablet after the hearing,
Yeah.
there's a orange yellow button that has CCAR, the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery.
Okay.
And if you're going to go to New Haven or Bridgeport, both of those have a really good recovery community center.
Okay.
And they have recovery coaches. So you have a little bit of experience with sponsorship and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
And you know how a sponsor like helps you through the steps and you get to talk to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they aren't experts on resources that are available in the community. And a recovery coach is. So I know like you talked about, you know, wanting to get some counseling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, the recovery coach knows some counselors in the area they can make a referral to that understand addiction and any kind of issues that you're going through and stuff like that. And they
Right.
also help with like a resume and, you know, where are some places that are good in this area to apply for a job.
Okay.
So if you go back and you take a look at that and you request a coach, it's something that just reinforces rather than going out there. And the last time I was out there, I did what I did to get in there. You know, you had a little bit of time in between, but you know, if you have a coach out there that can help you find the resources that you need just really quickly,
Right.
that would be really good for you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the information.
Okay. Board members, that was Hassel.
And just to continue that theme, in the past, you've been successful when you've been on community supervision. So that says to me that you know how to use your parole officer and your probation officer as a resource. And do you feel that that's going to continue this release?
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Absolutely.
Even better. Go ahead.
Even better because now I used to have well, I can't say used to. I'm working very hard on being able to reach out. Like sometimes it's just so hard for me to reach out that I reach out too late. So I'm learning now that I have to reach out as soon as things happen so that I can get the proper help that I need before things get to a bad place or wind up not working out. So that's one of my things that I've been focusing on is asking for help and reaching out right when I need it and not trying to figure it out before it's too late and then I wind up in a bad spot.
So you had mentioned in one of the reports that I read that Tier 2 brought you to a place of self-evaluation. And I'm assuming what you just talked about is part of that process.
Yes, it is. Making choices. I'm quick to make a decision without thinking it through and telling myself the goods and bads of it. It's just like, I got to do this, I'm going to do it. And that's just that. And I need to slow myself down and tell myself, listen, you have to think about this and think about the way to do it. So it winds up coming out good and staying on the path of what I needed to do instead of making decisions so quickly and not thoroughly thinking it through. That's a big thing for me. So I've been able to sit back and understand that how I'm feeling is forcing me to think the way that I'm thinking. I need to regroup myself before I even get to that space.
Well, I think that you're on a good path. And in the past, you had referenced that you had limited community support, but it sounds to me like you've already lined things up between your children, finding a sponsor, post-release treatment. All of that is important. And just like you're staying focused in the commissary, staying focused in the community with all of this is going to be a good path for you. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Board Member Sebastian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Ms. Garcia is here. I'm going to read here. I had her back in October in the original hearing. And at that time, we had recommended that she complete an addiction services program that was on her OAP. Get a job in the facility and then no additional disciplinary reports. So she's done all of those things. She is in the past has been successful on community supervised release 4 times and has never had an unsuccessful period of community supervised release. So like panel member Taco Sasser said, that's a pretty good indication of where she's at. Today she comes forward and sounds much better than her last hearing. And she was able to articulate what she learned in the Tier 2 program. And her release plan sounds good. She has support from her family. She's been talking to them on the phone, getting prepared for her release into the community. She explained how she needs to slow down and take into consideration the consequences of her actions before she makes decisions. It's something that she learned in Tier 2. And in the past, making impulsive decisions sounds like it led her into trouble. So I think that's probably the most important thing for her, to just slow down, and before something bad happens, like she said, think it through. What the outcomes are going to be from making different decisions before she does it, and so that way she doesn't land back in the situation. So she's done well. So considering all of that, I'm in favor of granting her a discretionary parole today.
Okay, I think we're all in the same place.
We are.
Where, what would we have her do? Halfway house code D?
Yeah, I had halfway house. Originally I had driving, but it sounds like that situation's been resolved, so I'm okay with not putting driving on there. So
halfway house code D?
yeah, and then I mean, there was a co-defendant involved in this. I don't know if she would ever have contact with this person again. You guys want to discuss, we need to add that for this.
How do you know Jasmine?
My foster sister, she was her friend.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a random person. Apparently it's someone that she knows that's in this part of her previous life,
Okay,
I would like to add it.
Yeah,
okay. And that's it, right?
yeah, I think that's it right now.
Can you say your first name again?
Kaisha Garcia.
Kiashia. In regard to Kiashia Garcia, 302-487, I move to grant parole on or after March 21st, 2025, with the following stipulations: halfway house placement, no contact with co-defendant Jasmine LaChapelle. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Ms. Garcia, you've been voted to parole. Your conditions will be explained to you prior to your release. And please, when you go back, do reach out to CCAR.
I will. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yes,
Thank you.
I will.
See if they go to boards.
Okay, and they grant, and look, I mean, the way that it started, it's like this, it's like she was not going to admit that it was her fault, and the parole board member was like coaxing her into trying to get the right answer, right? That's what it felt like. She starts off by I was just going here with my friend, and then the police followed me, and then they found me, and it was like, no, you had one job. You had one job, and she still didn't do it until he kind of like pushed her into the corner, and then only then did she finally say, okay, it was my stuff, and it felt like she was still pushing back on it, like saying it resentfully, or like I don't know, like, I mean, was someone using her as a mule, so to speak? Like, is she really not a dealer and she's kind of being used into it, and that's why she kind of feels this way? You get what I'm saying? Like, maybe she's like there's like the dealer is really somewhere else, and she's pressured into, I don't know, but like she doesn't get like the. Well, what was she get? Let's see what Lady Holly put in here for all the info. And we only go back 10 years on record, so she doesn't have a lot. Let's see. She has. Let me click the share button. Possession with intent. Let's see what it is. She has possession with intent to distribute. So it was possession with intent. She got 7 years, suspended after 27 months, 3 years probation. Now, for many of you, you might remember we did cover this case when it initially came out in late October, November, and now we're just redoing it. So thank you, Lady Holly, for connecting the dots on this case. But yeah, she doesn't, she's a failure to appear, Now, she is going to be getting out. I did Google her before playing this because it's been like 2 months, and I do not see that she's been rearrested for anything. If she does come back, we'll cover her revocation hearing. But I got to tell you, I still don't, look, okay, fine. They said, come back in a few months, don't get a write-up, get a job, take a program. She did that. Okay. But if you really think it makes a difference, and then, I mean, more like, how do you go through all of DOC, take a program, and not know the word CCAR? That's all you need to know. That is like the key program in the state of Connecticut. If you actually went through your programs, you would know at least that word when she's asked it. And for me, that's my takeaway. That's mind-boggling to me. It's like, have you heard of CCAR? No. Have you what programs on the outside are you going to go into? Oh, I'll research it later. There was still no preparation. There was nothing, there are some people that you actually can see when they show up to the parole hearing that they do want to stay sober, that they are ready, that they talk about doing 90-90, that they've even researched where they're going to go for their AA or whatever. Here there was nothing. She's just checking boxes, and come on, if you it's just a joke. It's a gimmick, really. But what can you do? You want to keep her locked up forever? But neither here nor there. We keep track of these parole hearings as they go through. So you get to see stage 1, stage 2. It wasn't that long of a stretch for her to have a better parole hearing. I didn't really see much of a difference. The only difference is that eventually she admitted, kind of. I don't know. The whole thing is ridiculous. But there you have it. It's all, all this money, tens and millions of dollars. Who knows how much it's going into rehabilitation of someone. And then when you really see what it is, it's just one big giant joke, in my opinion. But hopefully she stays out. I just don't see how she possibly could. I mean, she's no young pony. Is that the word? She's what is she? In her almost 50 years old. I mean, to be playing these games, right? So, but we can end with Lady Holly's fact of the day. And the fact of the day for us will be that in Colorado, it's illegal to keep a couch on your porch. I feel like we've said that fact of the day before. If we haven't, I don't know. I feel like we have. Should we do another one? Let's see what else we have. I'm pulling up some random doc. In California, it's illegal to whistle for a lost canary before 7 a.m. Just think about that. There was a law passed in California that said it's illegal to whistle for a lost canary before. How does that happen, ladies and gentlemen? How are laws like that put in the books? How many people have been whistling for their lost canary? Now, you know that it's probably the only way that could have happened is that there must have been some lawmaker that had a neighbor that lost a canary that's looking for it, and they got so pissed off they passed the laws. But, whew, I keep saying this. I should make a YouTube channel just covering the most bizarre laws and how they came about and their history on it, because I find it to be fascinating and absurd at the same time. But it just makes me want to know. It makes me want to know, how did that possibly happen? And with that, I'll let you go.
Putting me until I got to the jail.
But
and they
where?
searched me
But where?
in my bra. In my bra.
Wait
right
a
here.
minute. Are you really you're gonna sit here and tell us that someone put Suboxone, fentanyl, and crack cocaine in your purse and bra, and you didn't know it?